भाग जाना आसान होता है। हर पहलू जिंदगी का इम्तिहान होता है। डरने वाले को मिलता नहीं कुछ जिंदगी में, लड़ने वालों के कदमों में तो जहान होता है। A very good morning to respected Dipti ma'am, Amit sir, and all my fellow mates. My name is Krutarth Thakkar, and I've just completed my 12th standard from Diwan Ballubhai School, Kakaria, Ahmedabad, and I'd be pursuing MBBS this year. Today, I'd like to share a memorable incident of my life with all of you, which is connected to my father, Mr. Chirag Thakkar. He has just completed the golden jubilee of his life this year. I clearly remember it was 28th September 2020, just a regular day. We had our dinner together, and after having some regular chat, I went to bed around 11. And after 15 to 20 minutes, suddenly my mom called me and said, "Come downstairs immediately." And I was yawning and asking her that what is it. Then she dropped the shocker that your dad is experiencing some pain in his chest, and it came as a bolt from the blue for me. I couldn't control myself and my heart sank. I completely freaked out and ran downstairs to their bedroom. My mom and dad were on the bed, sitting completely silent. Then we called my brother, Konar, who is doing his master's in general surgery from Udaipur. So we had to inform her and ask him what to do. So he told us to have a test of troponin. But it was 12:30 in the midnight, so nobody was available to do the test. But eventually and luckily, my brother managed to bribe a lab technician by giving him some extra money to do the test. Then the results came and we were caught unawares because my dad's level was too high. So we were sure that there was some abnormality going in his heart. So we had to rush to the hospital. But again, nobody was with us. So we had to decide that how should we go to a hospital. So we called a good friend of us and a neighbor of us, Mr. Bharat Patel, and he came to it. Then we rushed to the Sterling Hospital at SG Highway, Ahmedabad. COVID was also there, so we had to choose a non-COVID hospital. We live in Nicole, Ahmedabad, so it was a 30 minutes drive from our place. Dad's pain was gradually increasing. My brother had already managed the team of doctors and a couple of his friends at the hospital. We reached the hospital around 3 in the morning, and my brother had already left from Udaipur. After reaching hospital, dad had to go through angiography. Then we got to know that he had the one of his main artery blocked, and that also 100%. So we had to make a decision quickly. We couldn't wait for my brother to come. My mom and I were standing all alone in a corridor of a hospital, totally devastated. Eventually, my mom and I had to sign the consent paper for angioplasty. It was Dr. Rashesh Pothiwala who was operating my dad. Talking about my dad, he was too intimidating to even go to a hospital because he has never taken a single injection in his life. And all of a sudden, this thing happened. When my dad was going through angioplasty, we were right at the door of his operation theater. My mom was totally numb and she wasn't even talking to anyone. I tried to convince her a lot of time that dad will be fine, but it was very hard to digest her. All what I had in my mind at that time was हिम्मत कर, सबर कर, बिखर कर भी संभल जाएगा, यकीन कर, शुक्र कर, वक्त ही तो है, गुजर जाएगा. I tried to hold my mom and myself for some time, and after 20 to 25 minutes, the process was done, and by the grace of God, it went well. My dad came out smiling, and we felt blessed. Nobody was allowed to stay with my dad after the surgery, of course, because of COVID and his low immunity. So we had to stay in the parking lot for the whole next day. It was the worst and the most terrible experience of my life, seeing my real life hero going through this much. So I would like to conclude by saying a quote that खुशहाली का तेज था, दुख के बादल आए और बादल ऐसे गरजे कि उसने जीने का नजरिया ही बदल दिया. Thank you.